Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises and the glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Rakatha Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. We give double honors to our beloved apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to our sincere brothers pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their lives week in and week out to feed the elect of Israel. Shalom to the 144,000, which are the governing body of men. A shalom to the hope elect, the 1/3 of the men, the women, and the children. My name is Brother Ahab, and I hope and pray this is edifying. The name of this lesson is, How Shall Then His Kingdom Stand? Now, I saw this news report a few hours ago, and from ITV News. Fair use, fair use. This is just for educational purposes only. Okay? And I read it. Let me read it here. Right? It is HS2, right? Which is a high-speed train. Delayed again? What on earth went wrong with the troubled railway? Okay, I saw this a few hours ago, but it's 5 hours ago. Okay, let me read a few things here. HS2 trains will run slower than originally planned in an effort to keep down rising construction costs. The Transport Secretary, Heidi Alexander, told MPs on Tuesday that the new maximum speed of the high-speed train services will be 320 kilometers per hour, down from the intended 360 kilometers per hour, which is 224 miles an hour. And it says Alexandra also confirmed that trains will no longer be operational by the intended date of 2033, saying we could instead see the first trains on tracks at late as 2039. You see these times they're talking about, and we want to get the hell out of here. With trains not running on the way to Houston until as late as 2043. Boy, oh boy, they just think that this kingdom is going to last forever and ever. So let's read on. The line was originally meant to open in 2026 and was initially announced in 2012 by the Conservative government, having been consulted on by Gordon Brown's Labour government in 2009. Since being announced, the project has risen from an initial 32.7 billion in 2011 prices to, look at this number now, 66.6. There has to be some kind of satanic number, everything. 66.6 billion for just the London to Birmingham route, having at one point topped an estimated 100 billion when stretched further north to Manchester. And it says, speaking on Tuesday, Heidi Alexander said the new estimated cost for the project sat between 87.7 billion to 100. And you see them figures, 102.7 billion. So this money, where all this money comes from, as the people are going to complain now, taxpayers' money. But let's play this, fair use, and it's only about 3 minutes long, 3 minutes and 37 minutes long, right? How shall then his kingdom stand? Let's play it.
HS2 is in a hole, but they are going to keep digging. The Transport Secretary says it would now cost almost as much to scrap it as to finish it. And even though the high-speed line won't go north of Birmingham, it may now cost north of £100 billion.
If this seems like an obscene increase in time and costs, it is because it is. And if it seems like I'm angry, it is because I am. I am angry on behalf of taxpayers and affected communities who have been swindled by the failures of successive Conservative governments.
It's true that the early years of the HS2 project were beset with delay and cost overruns, with HS2 Limited failing to maintain tight control of the budget and, frankly, Department for Transport allowing them to get away with it.
HS2 was originally supposed to link London to Manchester and Leeds. Now it will only go from London to Birmingham. Trains were supposed to start this year. Now they may not run until 2039. And we were told it would cost £32 billion, but now the price, including rolling stock, could be as much as £102 billion. Why is this so much more expensive than expected?
The original estimates were wrong, they were inaccurate. And they're provable to be inaccurate, and the project completely misunderstood the processes required to acquire the land for it and the resources needed to acquire the land.
You see, nothing moves smoothly in this earth, right? Nothing but confusion. And what happens when they mess up, basically, right? Who has to suffer, right? Our taxes go up, okay, the rates go up, everything goes up. We have to suffer for it, right? Because what? Everything is not run correctly on this earth. Yeah? So there's always like trying to find a way out. But we have to suffer for it. You see?
And
the project has such a bad name that even in Birmingham at one end of the line, there is weary cynicism.
It's not going to happen on time. It's not going to be complete, is it?
It's a bit irritating if it's going to take longer and it's going to be very expensive.
I think they should hold off on it and fix the potholes, spend more money on the council.
You see these young fellas, right? Hold back the money, right? Spend on potholes, give more money to the council, right? Sometimes the dustbin, the refuge, the trucks, they come, they're delayed sometimes. So you see the rubbish bins piling up. Where, nothing is just done correctly, all right? The crown, that's the spirit, the crown, right? These young fellas are talking sense.
And collect the bins.
The government does hope to save a couple of £1 billion by commissioning trains which travel at 200 miles per hour instead of 225. But HS2 will still be world-beating as mile for mile the most expensive railway line anywhere on the planet. Carl Dinnan, ITV News, Westminster.
Well, our reporter Vicky Smith is at Birmingham New Street Station for us this evening. Vicky, the HS2 bill could top, we're told, £100 billion. Commuters can hardly feel that's good value, can they?
Well, the announcements today have been met with frustration, but definitely not surprise. Commuters and taxpayers are now very much used to this project being stripped further and further back, to the point where many struggle to imagine a reality of trains on tracks happening at all. The vision for HS2 was for people to be able to get on a train here in Birmingham at a station which is currently under construction and be in London in 49 minutes. With these slower trains, that could be 55 minutes. Bearing in mind you can currently get on a train here and be in central London in an hour and 15 minutes. For some people, it's left them wondering.
You see, let me start here. So we talk about the time period. We read this all the time. Right? Psalm 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. You see, when we see those time periods, we want to get the hell out of here. Right? We know we have to go according to prophecy. And this is prophecy, Okay? Because I'm going to bring out a couple of scriptures that this kingdom is going to fall. It is falling, it's circling the drain. Okay? So they just keep on thinking, they just put these figures by 2049 and, listen, if the Lord doesn't come back soon, there's going to be no flesh to be saved. Right?
Is it really worth the ever-increasing price tag? When HS2 was first being sold as an idea to the general public 15 years ago, it was billed as a new chapter of connectivity outside London. But for many, it's just been a story of U-turns, cancellations, and even more delays.
You see, even more delay, cancellations, nothing can run smooth on this earth. Yeah? Let's get this in the NLT, right? Isaiah 14 verse 16. Everyone there will stare at you and ask, can this be the one who shook the earth and made the kingdoms of the world tremble? Is this the one who destroyed the world and made it into a wasteland? Is this the king who demolished the world's greatest cities and had no mercy on his prisoners? Listen, we are the prisoners of hope, right? This earth belongs to us, and we are prisoners in our own home, if you understand. This earth belongs to us, right? It says what? The kings of the nations lie in stately glory, each in his own tomb. But you will be thrown out of your grave like the worthless branch. This is what we are counted as, like nothing. Okay? We're at the bottom. Like a corpse trampled underfoot. You will be dumped into a mass grave with those killed in battle. You will descend to the pit. That's what is the only hope. Because, we are prisoners of hope. The only hope for us is through Yahushua HaMashiach. Right? Let's go to Matthew. Matthew 12. And Yahushua HaMashiach knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Now everybody's starting to wake up now, to see all this bullshit. That's why you have this thingy going around now. What's the word? What can I say? It begins with E, right? And bowly, like you roll a ball. That thing is going around. It's starting to spread now. They have to do something now because people are waking up to the bullshit. So they have to move fast. Okay? Right? So it says, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And verse 26, and if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? You see? What they do, it does not work. All right? It lasts for a period, but it just diminishes. Matthew 7 and 18. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Because all they do is speaking lies. Nothing but lies. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. That's why we need a new revamp. Okay? This place has to be destroyed. It needs to be, we talk about to be renewed, refreshed, kindness. We need a new start. Because nothing good could come out of out of a corrupt tree. So what's the sense keeping it growing? Right? It must be hewn down and cast into the fire. Right? Let's go to Daniel 2 verse. Let's start from Daniel 2 verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall be the Lord our power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Okay? This is a righteous kingdom that we need to enter into. Let's get this one more here. Psalms 37, verse 10. For yet a little while, the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. We're not living in peace. Yeah? You see, you could see these people they're not at ease. This is not our rest. You could see these people, right, the way they speak. The meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. The downfall of Esau Edom is about to come down. It's going to come down soon. Okay? As you read here, how shall then his kingdom stand? And this is like vexation of spirit. Robbing the people, putting up prices, right? Food goes up, and the food is even defiled. Everything goes up. Okay? You see, in the kingdom, you're not going to move the goalposts. They keep on moving the goalposts from one place to another. Right? And still nothing good is going to come out of it. That's why we need we need to be at peace. All right? We need to be at peace. So Homebreed is edifying. This is just a short one. Is that they think that this is going to continue forever and ever. All right? Shalom, shalom.